Welcome, everybody. Good morning to Spirituality Gone Wild. I am Debbie G, and I am here with you for another cup of grata. Right now, I'm going to actually step away from the screen and let you enjoy Johanna One Heart, who's going to play a glorious song for you this morning. And she's doing it live right here on Facebook and YouTube for your beautiful hearts, for your beautiful hearts to be connected. So wherever you are in this world right now, if you're watching the replay or watching us live, just take a moment, relax, settle in, and just take in the beautiful sounds of Johanna One Heart. And afterwards, please stick around and ask questions, and we're going to explore all about who Johanna is. Take it away, Johanna.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for having me on your show. In this new world, we're in a virtual reality, and I'm working on my backing tracks, and they are not pulling up. So we're going to go live. I don't do this often. This is a song called Heartbeats One. It's about how we're all connected and we're never alone. So let's take a moment and take a breath and think of all of those who are suffering and send them our love and our intention with this song. The words are, my heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. The beautiful thing about singing is that when we sing together, we breathe together. And when we breathe together, our heartbeats become synchronized. So sing along if you'd like. In our short, sweet lives, we're all searching for the light, the same light that makes trees thrive. Our roots grow down, branches reach for the sky. I know inside that you and we share the same heart, same soul, yes, same love. And I know my heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. My heart beats one, yeah, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. Feel the heartbeat, breathe the heartbeat, share the heartbeat of the world. Feel the heartbeat, breathe the heartbeat, share the heartbeat of the world. My heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. My heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that is an incredible way to start a morning. Thank you so much.
Mm.
Ah, what an incredible, your voice is just so angelic.
Oh,
And, but it also touches the heartstrings. And, I had Gina Renee on yesterday and we were talking about, she's a musician as well. And we were talking about the fact that music is the universal language and how that language is the one thing that it resonates through our entire being. And also the healing factor of music is so important. But let's focus on you. And can you tell everybody who you are? I know that you do some extraordinary work with children in Nepal, I believe,
yeah.
and as well as that you sang all over the world. You've played in just with in extraordinary arenas and had extraordinary experiences, and I want to talk about that. But let's just share a little bit about what comes to you about you that you'd like everyone to know.
Well, I think that you actually, before you started talking about me, said a lot about what I stand for with music. My life purpose is really just to share the heartbeat of the world, like that song says, and use music to heal. I really feel like music's vibration has resonance within our bodies. There's a lot of scientific knowledge around how our bodies react to music, and the music is able to heal us without us even knowing what's happening. And I've been focused actually the last 5 years on a kind of music practice called bhakti yoga, and it's a
Mm.
yoga in the East, and it is sacred chanting in sacred languages, vibrational languages like Sanskrit and Hebrew and Gurmukhi of the Sikh tradition. And I weave these chants in with the English translations in order to create a whole nervous system reset for my clients in private vocal lessons as well as public performances. And it's been really powerful to work with empowering the female voice through my Shakti United program and empowering children in Nepal's education through that program as well. I'm also fundraising for children in Nepal, Matrada Nepal Foundation. Through a new
Wow.
single mantra that I just released, I found a mantra to remove all disease and rebalance the earth during uncertain times as the pandemic hit. Surprisingly enough, it's kind of right on. And then I found this melody, and I invited other Bhakti yoga practitioners, Krishna Das and Ragini, a lot of big name Bhakti yoga practitioners that I know from around the world, and touring with this yoga and music circuit to be a part of this Seva project. Seva in Sanskrit means service. To give back to these children who are really struggling during this COVID-19. And there are children through this program who have actually become doctors. So I was very inspired because these doctors are then coming back and helping kids with the COVID problem. So it's kind of a universal uplifting moment when us musicians are able to gather in support despite whatever we've lost during this time. It doesn't matter to me because I need to give my service and love. So that's kind of my path of music is a little bit different. I used to tour doing regular music, and I found that people were getting a little bit further from spirit while I was getting closer as I sang. And so I needed to pull back and sing to love as my form of activism during difficult times. So that's why we're here, Debbie. Thanks for inviting me to be part of your show.
I'm loving it. Woo! Rock on, dude. Like you're just awesome. What I love musicians, and I just do. I love them with everything I've got. And the reason I do is because you make the decision when you decide to play is to connect us with your soul
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah.
It's an at one ment that is only possible through sound.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. And to make that commitment to share that gift is such an extraordinary um, act for you to do. And I
Yeah.
know this because when I was little, I played, but I remember that connection. I remember that connection with music, that there is nothing else like it.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted to, okay, share an experience when you first discovered the guitar when you were younger. Because if
Mm.
anybody out there, listen to this. I just know it's going to be super duper.
Okay, so I actually began singing when I came out of the womb, basically, and I was singing songs that were sometimes gibberish. And I wrote my first actual song called Just a Little More Love when I was 9 years old. And it's basically same heart song as you
Oh.
just heard, just a little bit different. It's about saving the world and the animals, and that we just need a little bit more love to get through this. You know, this is in the 1980s. Here we are 30 years later at the end of the world or
Right.
whatever is happening, and I'm still singing about love. So, and then as a vehicle for my voice, because I found that my voice was my primary instrument, and I was finding a lot of transformation in my body and my sound temple and my nervous system through song, because I was quite hyperactive as a child, as they call. Now I'm a yoga teacher. Somehow that, through the practice of singing, I found this calm.
Aw.
And so I decided, as a vehicle for my voice and my songwriting, that I needed to learn a little bit of guitar. And I was also a quite creative child, so I would take these chords, slide them all up the neck, and find all new voicings of these chords, and it sounds
Yeah.
really beautiful. And then I had a full band by the time I was 14, and they would just follow me with these nonsensical chords, like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing, it's a G9 suspended, 7. And then I kind of came back and like, okay, what am I actually doing with this instrument with my voice, and so that's been it's kind of been a roundabout experience with this vehicle, called the guitar. I also have an instrument behind me. I sell these instruments, sound healing instruments, back here.
Okay. Oh yeah, let's go. Please share all about it.
This is a Koshi chime. And Koshi chimes reset our nervous system through the sound vibration of these. And they come in 4. You have earth, air, fire, and water. And
Okay.
I actually sell these sound healing instruments that are come from France. I import them from France. And they have this beautiful effect on the water in our bodies, like most sound healing instruments or sound meditation instruments. We don't need to know what we're doing to have this affect our nervous systems. Can you hear it?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And so this is a fire, right? So it might be a little bit more elevating than a water. So I might put a fire in a water to balance and go through a yoga class and play it over my class. I actually trademarked something called lullaby yoga, where I sing and teach and offer aromatherapy and adjustments normally when I'm on the road, but now it's just sound healing and mantra meditation, and I soothe the spirit through mantra music and sound healing while I teach restorative yoga. So this is one of those that I use, called a Koshi chime.
That's incredible. Can you give me that website so if anybody's watching, they can actually go check them out?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat here, johannasings.com. Actually, there's something glitchy with it this morning. So if it doesn't show up, it's coming back. I don't know what happened. My assistant and I were working yesterday. But it's johannasings.com, and it's called the Shakti Shop.
This is
Imports from all over the world. We've got harem pants, yoga supplies, scent of samadhi. It's an Ayurvedic aromatherapy from India that people use as deodorant in the West. That's just delicious. It's called Yoga Crack at Bhakti Fest. All of the performers come to me and like, do you have the stuff?
Oh my God, this is just great. Are you guys having a blast with this or what? Oh, more.
Okay, so I work with families in Nepal and import a lot of these instruments. And so actually this family has moved to Los Angeles, and they have an imports shop, and they give me gongs and singing bowls. This is an E. It's a lovely singing bowl. And so you can either gong them like that during your meditation, and it just keeps washing over you for a long time. You can put it next to your ear, next to your other ear, and you just feel, you can put it on your heart, different parts of your body, to reset your chakra system. Really powerful. The combination of yoga and music has brought me into this world of sound healing.
Actually, I'm completely fascinated, and I'm going to tell you, that's gorgeous, first of all. And everybody, right here is the link. And in fact, I'm going to scroll that. Let me just take a really quick second. You'll also notice below there's the gfest.life, and this is where you're going to really be able to dig in deep with Johanna, which is an amazing thing. Johanna sings, you guys. Johanna sings. This is I'm just sound healing. So I'm just going to turn this into a ticker. What I'm excited about with the sound healing is that here's we were talking right before the broadcast. I was saying, I'm the newbie or person, I haven't been around the spiritual community per se for more than maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
I would say that, because that Dark Night thing started, I was listening to Dwayne Dyer way back in the day, practicing gratitude way back in the day.
Right.
We're always on a spiritual journey. We just don't call it that thing that we might now call it.
Yeah.
Right. But
Right.
the sound healing came up. I had a dream about tuning forks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, Johanna, I was sitting there going, why am I dreaming about a tuning fork? Like,
Like,
like what? I
what
was
does it
giving my
mean?
I was doing facials with tuning forks.
Oh
So
wow.
I Googled it, and I swear to you, it was a thing. So
Oh yeah.
as yeah, so as I'm sitting there and I'm like looking at all these different, I'm looking at like tuning forks, and all of a sudden it leads me on this. I go down this rabbit hole. The rabbit hole leads me to sound healing, which led me to meeting somebody named Ian Morris, who has Listening to Smile, and he does all these meditative tracks with all these different binaural beats, and which are healing, and using the solfeggio scale, which I didn't know anything about the
Yeah.
solfeggio scale, and I want to talk to you about that too, and
Yeah.
have you explain why that sound healing works in our body the way it does. But before let me finish that, the this experience was just a crack. I was laughing because I'm just sitting back going, this is actually a thing. Put the headphones on my ear, the sound healing. So I listened to his music, and I put them on, and I was just in amazement at what it's like to experience these different tones going through my body. It's
Yeah.
absolutely extraordinary. So that was where that I first thought about even discovered sound healing. Then I had a rock and roll winter solstice in Palm Springs, and it was in this gorgeous facility, and it
Mhm.
had the squash ball room, and we had 36 sound bowls in there.
Oh wow.
Oh, it was crazy. Well, he had like chimes. So it was this insane sound bath with these acoustics that were nuts. So it was cool. But anyway, so let's talk about why it sounds so important and what it does to your body. And that bowl you were holding up, explain what that this is doing to our physical body.
Yeah, well, sound healing is a beautiful thing. I am also new to the sound healing technology part the last 5 years, probably for me, since I've been developing the lullaby yoga class that I trademarked. And part of what I do in that is I do private sessions with sound healing and mantra music, because what we're working with these two things is we're working with the water. Actually, we're made up of so much water in our bodies, right? 90%. And so what is happening with these sound vibrations is they're working with the water in our body, and it's creating a ripple effect in our body that's calming to our nervous system. And our nervous system doesn't need to really know what's happening for it to tune in with itself and into its natural state, into what's called a parasympathetic nervous system state, which is the opposite of sympathetic, which is fight or flight response, which is what a lot of us are stuck in when we're watching the news and all of the things that are happening in the world these days. We're getting nervous, we're getting scared, we're having little mini traumas, which are going into our system, into our psoas, into our body vessel, and staying there, and it's getting stuck. And so through sound healing, sound meditation, and restorative yoga and breath work, I've kind of cultivated this practice that's able to reset. I was hit by a drunk driver in 2012, and
Oh wow.
I couldn't practice yoga. I
Okay.
was The doctor said, you aren't going to practice yoga. You're going to be at home. You need to be in a dark room. That's it. No work. You're done. Just stay home. I had a migraine for 9 months, bulging discs, shooting
Uh,
neurological pains down both of my arms. And I began to chant and use some elements of sound healing, which I find mantra meditation to be part of that practice, while I was in restorative poses. Restorative yoga is like, okay, we think pretzel yoga in the West. Restorative yoga is like we're doing 30% of what we think we can do with lots of pillows and lots of blankets and lots of support. It's like nap time yoga. So I
okay.
studied my body. I'd been a yoga teacher. I knew that there were these subtle body and breathwork practices. I studied trauma-informed yoga and gentle yoga through sound meditation, vibration, and I got better way faster than the doctors thought I would. I started practicing regular vinyasa yoga within a year or so. I was on tour with my music and yoga within 2 years. I was totally fine and sharing the message with others and helping clients to find their center again. So it's really part of
Okay.
the coaching work that I'm moving in the world with as well, because it's saved my life.
Okay, you're saving mine actually as we talk. Like it's just I and hello to everybody who's watching. I do see your questions right there, so don't worry, I'm going to get to them, okay? I
Yeah.
promise. But so everybody, I want you to listen to this very carefully. I broke my back when I was 17.
Mm.
I've lost, I've been on a journey of weight loss. I lost 150 pounds 20 years ago.
Wow.
My body has been through, I've been in a head-on collision. I've had all kinds of stuff
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yeah.
And the sound is the one thing that's where it's at. That's the key. What you're doing and what you're teaching, like I need this. That's
Mm.
what I need
Yeah.
someone like you to help, like what you're saying right now. Right now, I'm in the process of still working on my body and getting it to move right. Because I have been off any doctor medications for 5 years.
Yes.
I use,
Congratulations.
thank you, microdose THC and CBD
Mm-hmm.
water. Right now, I'm back to working on my diet. I got really lazy with it. And I'm bringing all this up because what you're talking about with the restorative yoga
Mm-hmm.
almost feels like I'm listening to it because I wanted to go back to start doing. I haven't done yoga in a while. I got a yoga mat, got my ball, and I've even got my jumpy jump, which is my trampoline,
Yeah.
because we're starting a divine body reset that's coming up. It's with Andrea Lynn,
Yeah.
who you'll meet
What?
at the G Fest.
Awesome.
So I'm sitting here, but movement is, I'm 52 and I feel like I'm 80 when I'm moving because I'm being honest right now, everyone, just so you know. I don't lie about this kind of stuff. I get to tell the truth. So what I'm telling you is that what you're doing right now is offering to me the hope that
Mhm.
there's a better way and a different way to do this. And so I'd like to know a little bit more about the restorative yoga, and especially for all of you out there too, who maybe you're like me and you're going, okay, this yoga stuff used to be not so hard to do. And now I'm getting down going, yeah, this is painful. Like literally to the point where I don't want to go do it because it hurts.
I have been there. I was there in my 20s. I learned about my body. I was like a 90-year-old not able to move. I was still in
Okay,
my,
yeah.
right? So I can
Yeah.
identify with being young and having that experience of, oh my gosh, my body vessel. What do I do without that? Right? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
when you broke your back at 17, I absolutely can identify with that feeling. It's so disempowering. It's so helpless. But
Big.
for me, what happened was I was able to see a different perspective and realize that the medicine for me was the opposite of what was happening in society. It's the opposite of my power yoga teacher training that I'd gone through that I was teaching. It's the opposite of us talking quickly and excited. It's breathing. It's slowing down. It's meditating. It's really hard. And we're in the West and we have monkey mind. So it's really hard to calm down our minds long enough to sit still. And so for me, the practice was, where is the exhale and how can I soften here? And restorative yoga is so powerful because we're working with what we can do, not what we cannot do, not pushing our bodies into some pretzel shape that it's not capable of, but we're working with our nervous systems and where they are to let the fascia and connective tissues open slowly with our breath, with the sound vibration that I'm offering through Lullaby Yoga. I teach through Nam Yoga Los Angeles every Tuesday at noon, and there's a yoga channel for
Oh,
self-soothing for uncertain times, NAAM. I'll write it in here.
okay, great. I'm in Huntington. You're not far. You're in, I didn't know you were in Southern California.
I'm actually teaching online, love. I'm
Okay.
normally in Southern California, but right now I'm in Oregon in a beautiful studio. You know, I'm just holding my
Okay.
sacred space here during the pandemic. I miss all of you. I'm usually there about quarterly. Um,
Awesome. Yay!
yeah.
I'm loving that. Well, I love that because you're spectacular. Can I just say that it's a cup of grata. Today is a cup of grata is gratitude. And I have so much gratitude for you being here. And it's just one more reason for me being so grateful to have this platform so I could meet someone like you who
Mm,
could say to someone like me, hey, try this. I mean, honestly, restorative yoga and all the time I've been doing this, I don't know how I have just missed this. Everybody, here it is. I'm putting it into the chat.
I actually sent the right one here just now. I did
Okay.
the right one the first time. But yeah, and actually I wanted to speak about the losing weight thing that you were talking about. We think we
Yeah.
need to exercise. We think we need to raise our heart rate and cortisol. And what is actually happening in our bodies, and for me, this is what happened when I hit the road with my yoga and music.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped 20 pounds and it hasn't come back because I started breathing, slowing down, meditating, taking space for my body to reset, and letting the cortisol levels lower. What happens is when we're stressed out, our body holds on to cortisol levels, and that creates more fat because our body is in fight or flight. It thinks it's going to die. It's storing fat because we're stressed out and we aren't treating our bodies right by breathing and meditating and slowing down and letting it reset on its own. And
Mm.
so when we start to work with subtle body and breath work, our bodies can naturally come into their state. Of course, we need to still exercise, but as a part of the opposite of that, to let our bodies naturally let go of the weight that they're holding on to because we're in a heightened nervous system state, breathing in our chests and not dropping into our parasympathetic nervous system. So there is kind of a benefit that you wouldn't actually expect to that practice. When we're going slower, we can have more benefit in
Wow.
getting to our natural body weight, ideal
Wow.
body weight, and I don't have to fill the hole either because I'm filled by spirit. So that's the piece is, we're just like, oh yeah, you're like, I'm going to get back on my eating and it's going to be, it's really hard and whatever. It doesn't have to be hard when we're like, okay, I'm going to eat when I'm hungry now because I'm filled by spirit and I'm doing my practice and my body and nervous system is in a right space. When we eat a pint of ice cream last night, I'm going to want a pint of ice cream the next day. I love ice cream. Don't get me wrong. I will do a little bit of coconut bliss here and there, but I
Yeah.
notice the cravings that it sets up for me.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
and so that's a choice. When I make that choice the next day, I know what's going to happen is I'm going to want what I had the day before. So am I going to make that choice every day? Hopefully not. So there's a little bit of wellness coaching that I also work with my clients, and I do Free Your Soul's Voice, vocal activation also, and I work with people for speaking, singing, and empowering their divine voice that we have been given as an instrument when we were born on this earth, and it is made for healing. So that's the other piece that I'm really, really strong about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's get to the audience because they're like they've got questions and I see y'all. I see everybody. I will bring this up. Kelly Joe O'Brien says this is an amazing message. And
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Yeah.
So Carla says, I have a singing bowl that was gifted to me. The sound is very low, it's very deep. I've never heard anyone play a low tone. Why is that?
Well, singing bowls come in different vibration sounds. And so, like, my singing bowl back here says that it is in E. What happens when we have a deeper sound is that it's usually a bigger bowl or a thicker bowl, right? So this is a little bit higher, and also sometimes they're made of different metals. So this one is made of copper it's made from copper. It's from Nepal, and it has a little bit of a higher resonance. Also, when you hit it the way that I just did, it has a different resonance than when I play it this way. It has a little bit of a lower tone. So I would ask you, are you playing it or are you hitting it like that? Because this is going to be a little bit more subtle when it comes up.
I can hear it. It's very subtle. You have
Right.
to really listen, everybody.
Yeah. It's having a hard time catching. I think I have the wrong dingy thingy. It needs a bigger dingy thingy also to make it sound correctly. So this is more like a bell sound, but
Yeah.
when we're playing it correctly, it has more of this sound. Here it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, it has like, does that make sense? It has a little bit of a deeper resonance. It's
Completely.
totally softer. So I was just giving you the party trick where you hit it really hard and make a big sound.
I love
But,
that. With
but
the
when
dingy thing.
you're in meditation, with the dingy thing.
But make sure you have the right dingy thingy. It needs to be the bigger dingy thingy, and
Yeah.
bigger dingy thingies are always better. We know this.
Here's
So
the bigger dingy thing. I was
that's
just
bigger dingy thingy.
another dingy thing. And another dingy thing. So this one's a higher, smaller
Ooh.
one, right? So that's what I was saying. When they're bigger, they have different sound. This is also made of a different metal. So it's quite beautiful. Um, so these are kind of what I know about sound healing, and I'm really excited to hear what else has people have to say around sound healing at GFest. It sounds like there's some other presenters that have some musical knowledge there. I actually wanted to offer Debbie, I have a brand new single that I have not released yet that I will be sharing at GFest that's all about the divine feminine and waking up. It seems to be in alignment with what's going on in the world and the message of GFest if we've got time before we're done.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put up the gfest.life again. And in fact, I will be queuing up their video in a moment so I can share it with everybody. The GFest is 3 days of glorious women getting together and sharing and loving and healing and empowering and all of the things that we do because we pull together as the feminine. And also, it's not just that, but it's really a balance, learning to balance our divine masculine and feminine so that we can go back and be the best version of ourselves we can be. And there's extraordinary presenters, as you can see right here. You're going to release a brand new song. I cannot wait. You know, that how about would you like to play just another little song, and then after you do that, I'd like to talk about the solfeggio scale.
Yeah, we can talk about that and anything else that the listeners would like to speak with me about. I'd love that.
Absolutely. So, well, actually, one of the things that Kelly had mentioned was that she needs to get the stress out of her.
Ah, well, actually, I was thinking that another really positive thing during our conversation today might be that we lead ourselves into through just a couple of practices, just small practices. So when we are stressed out, we tend to breathe up in here.
Hmm.
And so what I would start with is taking the breath down into the belly, all the way down into your belly, hands on your belly, breathing deep into your belly. Filling your entire diaphragm. And if you might bend your knees, you have a little more space there. And I'm going to go back to my harmonium. It's an interesting Indian instrument that I also sell from Old Delhi Music. And you can actually order one of these through them with a discount code of Johanna5. Get a little love off. But it has a beautiful resonant sound that we can actually take a few more breaths like that. Deep breath into your belly. And exhale on a sigh. Ha. Shake it out. Ha. Open your jaw, yawn. Inhale. Exhale one more time. And then on your next inhale, take your deepest breath in. And then we'll Om together. The primordial sound of the universe, creation, and all living things' interconnectedness. Deep breath in. Deep breath into your belly one more time. Returning to your breath. Now inhaling for your count of 4. Holding at the top for your count of 4. Exhaling on for your count of 4. Holding at the bottom for your count of 4. And then inhaling on Ujjayi Pranayama, slight restriction in the back of the throat. 5. Holding for your count of 5. And exhaling on and hold for 5. Returning to your regular breath pattern. Finding yourself rooted, grounded, hands on your belly, held, supported by the Divine Mother beneath you. Inhaling one more time and exhaling, letting it all go down to the Mother, holding it, planting seeds for your own growth, healing, and development, knowing that you are your breath. And no matter what happens after this practice, I promise you, throughout your life, this breath will be here to hold you. Now inhaling this next time, arms out and raising up to the sky, filling your lungs. And then exhale on arms out and down. And shake it out. This is a great tool when we're stressed out, partially because our trauma is stuck in our bodies. And, I have a little cute toy apricot poodle, #Coco Across America on Instagram. And she shakes every time she gets stressed out. So if we shake and then breathe. And feel the space you've created. Feel your heart space. Feel your expansive lungs. And sigh. Settle. And let go. You may plant seeds in the earth beneath you for ease, comfort, stability, and calm. Giving your intention to the earth, the Mother Gaia, yin, cool, calm, holding your intention, letting it grow, letting it flourish in its dark, nutrient-rich soil. Breathing in and out. And as you inhale, you might bring light from above through your crown and ground it down through your central channel as you exhale. And just taking a moment to rest in this space we've created together.
Wow.
Just a little
Thank you.
private for you. You
Kelly,
Sure. Wonderful. Yeah, I love bringing the light in through the crown. Oh, your cat is purring, cuddle time. My dog always finds me when I get on the floor in a restorative pose, and she jumps on my belly or on my heart, and she knows that we're together and it's time to cuddle and be calm. And here she is, wants to say hi.
hi, sweet pea.
Yeah, she
Aw.
loves these practices.
Oh my goodness, how sweet.
So
Hi, baby.
this is Coco Across America on Instagram. You want to say hi? She was sleeping. She's a little sleepy.
Hi, Coco.
Where is she? Where is she? What's happening?
Co- Coco Cross America. How cute. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
so it's like what feeling do we get with our animals? Like I love that you mentioned your cat because they are therapy. They're just like sound therapy. It's just a different vibration, you know? But they
Hmm.
feel it. Coco feels it when I start chanting or I start playing the harmonium and she wants to be a part of the bhav as we call it in Bhakti yoga, which is this resonance that we create through the sound. Hey Coco. She likes to dance too.
Oh, look, she's dancing. Come here, Foxy. You want to meet someone? Look, come here, come here. Oh my God, look at that face. Here, say
Oh,
hi.
oh, Foxy, you're so beautiful. Do you see Foxy?
Say hi. She said, I really don't want to. Oh,
Yeah.
look at their face. Their faces are like, why? It's morning. It's
Hi,
our morning
Mom.
nap
We're
time.
cuddling.
What?
We're cuddling. That's so cute. We're little white dog owners.
Yes, and the fact that, this right here is exactly right. This is what if you wanna lower your stress and you wanna lower your anxiety, if you don't have one of these in your life, go to your local shelter. That's where she's from, and that's where our other one is from.
Coco's from there too. Her owner.
That's right. Save an animal,
Yeah.
and
Yourself.
it's that's right, and this is I mean, it's just it's truly it's a lifetime commitment, so if you're gonna go do that, please remember it's a lifetime commitment. You don't just give them up, you take them everywhere.
Yeah.
They're resilient, they love to go everywhere, and good good babies.
All right.
Okay,
So, and
so
if you don't have an animal
you
like that, I would say let's practice some yoga, let's practice some music, let's listen to mantra music because it retrains our brain. These mantras are in our cellular structure when we're born, it's said. And so when we hear these songs or the sounds of the sacred, I'm going to sing a song with the words ma, ma, ma next.
okay,
And that is like we're giving a shout out to the divine mother, divine feminine in all of its forms, including the divine feminine that lives in men, like you were saying. It's like we are all one and we're balancing this energy of masculine and feminine, whether we're in a male body or female body. But so excuse me, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So these practices are such a great way to reset our nervous systems, whether or not we have animals. I have had to fly all over the world without Coco, and I put my hand on my heart and one hand on my belly in a hotel room.
mhm,
And I just try to focus my breath on my belly instead of my heart because I notice that when I'm stressed out, it goes straight up here. So just having a tactile sensation of letting the breath move and then just bringing our awareness to the breath actually slows it down.
okay,
We don't even need to control it. That's the simplest tool right there. But you guys can tune in with me, and we do private lessons and we do small group lessons. We're also the Nam Yoga channel actually has a whole series called Self-Soothing for Uncertain Times. You buy 24 or so classes with me for $5 to $30 a month through Nam Yoga Los Angeles, and you can learn trauma tools. You can learn what else do we have on there? We have Free Your Soul's Voice, yogic singing, and empowered speaking.
wow,
And we have mantra meditation. So we go deeper into these sound vibration practices and what we're doing with our nervous systems. And I also teach lullaby yoga, which is my trademarked brand of yoga that I've been traveling around that helps you reset your nervous system. So tune in with us live Tuesdays at noon. Oh, sorry, Thursdays at noon at Nam Yoga Los Angeles. And then you can actually just watch all the rest and really tune up your nervous system and then tell me how you felt about the rest of the classes when you buy
okay.
your package.
That's super awesome, and
Yeah.
I love that. I hope I am getting so much. I just you're so unexpected. I had no idea there are so many different glorious facets of you. And
Hmm.
the way that I love the lullaby yoga. I think that's just precious. So
Yeah.
one of the things I do know is that the musicians have been really hit hard during this COVID
Yeah.
yoga studios, everybody's been hit really hard. So
Yeah.
how can we support you? And as you're watching, the viewers on there watching the replay or watching right now, let's take a really good listen right now. This isn't a infomercial. This is how do we support people like Johanna who have been hit really hard by the COVID. And her website is floating across the bottom of the screen on the ticker, but I'm going to hand this over so that we can learn a little bit more how to do that.
Okay, so you can learn more about what we're doing at johannasings.com, as she said, but also we are developing a 7-week series of beautiful interviews and actually a TV show called One Heart TV, where I will be offering experiences like we did today and live music, and also interviewing other musical and meditating luminaries from all over the world. And that'll be through Awake TV Network starting next month and leading up to a One Heart Festival. You can support me by just go to my PayPal, shoot me a little donation, fill the cup with some love. It's just whatever you have goes far. And it's really helpful. So johannasings.com, paypal.com/Johanna Beekman. You can donate for online classes with all of us. We're all doing offerings for free on Facebook and Instagram and all of that, because we have to create music. I did create a new album called Mantra Soul I was on tour with, fusing the gospel of the East with the gospel of the West. We've been talking a lot about this Sanskrit chanting, and I released an album of that with English and hallelujahs and beautiful All Paths Up the Mountain Lead to the Same Place release. And that's available at johannasings.com. Also, Mantra Sangha Health and Healing official music video is out, featuring Krishna Das and Ragini and Gina Salah and Girish and so many other bhakti yoga musicians. And that supports children in Nepal's education, because I can't keep what I have unless I give it away. And that's what I know in this life. So if you feel the same way, please support your local musicians and yoga teachers. We are struggling, and I do other things and try to make a living, because it's really about heart, and I can't keep what I have unless I give it away. And it's so helpful when you are monetarily supporting us through these practices. You can we'll have a group retreat starting after the One Heart Festival in February. We're launching that 7-week series, so you can tune in on johannasings.com for that. Right now, I believe our website might be down. We are having a little problem this morning, so please check back. And I'm also Johanna Beekman Music on Facebook, and on Instagram, I am Johanna One Heart.
So do a Google search, guys. Johanna One Heart. You're going to find her everywhere. Can you put your PayPal in, and I'll pop it into the chat so everybody can have that.
And I'm going to give people my full name, because I'm just in the process of rebranding. I'm Johanna Beekman, and my PayPal is.
And I am going to bring up a video, everybody, for the G Fest. The reason that I was so blessed to have Johanna here today, and all of us are so blessed by you being here. Thank you. Is because of this G Fest. It's called the Goddess Fest. And so, I've been interviewing people pretty much the last couple of weeks, and I'm just so grateful right now. You have brought so much healing in this short hour that we've had together. It's just remarkable. And what we're getting here is thank you so much. And hi, Julie. How's it going, sweetheart? Okay. But now I see a question. So before I go jump into the G Fest video, we have 5 more minutes. So we'll do that in a minute, because I want to address this for grieving. What do you do about grief? And that's a really great question. Deep grief is something that I also experienced in my life over the last 4 years, and there's, super. And it's a very important time in my world, at least, it's like the Twin Towers go down and everything becomes ground zero. And that's what grief is like. It's like having everything stripped from you that you knew that once was, and having it just completely shifted and different immediately. So in your experience, how can sound and how can the processes that you offer help someone through the process of grief?
Through perspective. I find that grief is when we're in sorrow and we're in grief and we're in so much deep pain that we're sobbing and we're crying and we don't think we can get out of it. What I know about that cycle is that when I'm crying like that, it takes 90 seconds. And then after that 90 seconds of release, I'm fondling story. I'm trained in this thing called the work of Byron Katie, and that's part of my coaching work where I life coach and help people with things like this that we're talking about.
Byron Katie is a rock star.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we question our thoughts. Is it true? When I'm believing that my grief is so big and it's bigger and it's just going to keep growing and it's just never going to end and I'm never going to be able to let go of this one thing. Is it true? And then you feel it in your system. You meditate on that. Is it true that life will never be the same without this one thing, that losing this one thing is the end of the world and I couldn't possibly get out of it? Is it absolutely true that this is where we are in our grief cycle? How do I react when I think that thought, that I am stuck in my grief pattern and that I can't get out? I know what I do is I tense up. I get, oh no, I'm stuck. And I get really, really unwelcoming to the divine in my system, right? And so how do I react with that thought? How do I treat myself? How do I move through the world? And then who would I be without that thought? That I am my grief and that my grief will never leave because it's here and it's a part of me. Who would I be without that thought? I would be free from my suffering. I would be embodied. I would be in my breath. I would be in my exhale. And with that exhale, I would be bringing in a new inhale. And with that new inhale, new perspective and new life and new love and new creation. So then I would take a moment, and there are worksheets. There's lots of ways that we can work one-on-one with these kinds of things, but I turn the thought around. And this is a really Cliff's Notes version. I don't like to do it this way, but I turn the thought around without my grief, without that pain body that I'm attached to, without that thought that I will never be the same, that this grief cycle will never end. I would be free. I would be in my center. I would be able to move on with creation, because the opposite of victim is creation. And so I would be propelling my voice, my work, my love into the universe, instead of staying stuck in this one moment that will pass, because every moment can be new. So exhaling, sighing out, letting go, loving, and infusing our hands with compassion. Rub your hands together, create a little bit of heat, and just say, I love myself into your hands. I love myself. I love myself. You're safe. You're protected. And you're not alone. And just infuse your body with that compassionate love and healing. And shake it out again. Ha!
Absolutely brilliant. Kelly, let me know how that resonates with you. And so tomorrow it is, so our heart is with you. And I hope that that practice helps you. And the great part about this is it's recorded. So you can keep this video handy dandy, go back and watch that a few times. And if that practice is helping you, and continue to move forward. And I love you. Thank you for being here today with us and for sharing that very vulnerable moment, the very vulnerable experience. Okay.
If anyone feels the need to follow up or tune in with me, please shoot me an email. I'm info@johannasings.com. I know we went pretty deep in that grief work, and it feels a little awkward to leave things open like that. So thank you for sharing vulnerably about your son and asking that question about the grief work. And Debbie, thanks for having me today. I think we ran out of time for another song, but you'll have to come to G-Fest.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly right. What a great segue, too. And Kelly says she's going to find you.
Wonderful. I look forward to hearing from you, Kelly. Hang in there. You are loved. You are love.
Absolutely. That's so cool. I love this. I just love this. I just do. Okay.
You're not.
So,
It's love, right?
right?
Love.
Love. All right, gfest.life right here. I'm going to pop up a video really quickly, everyone. There won't be sound because we can't play the sound, but we can play the video.
What if I sing a song over the sound?
Sure. That would be great.
I'm going to play the Shakti United song. Ready?
All right, here we go, guys. And here we go.
Oh, it's still not playing.
Is it playing?
Mine is not, but yours is.
Okay, I'll start it over.
I think you go ahead. There's something wrong, but I'll just sing something else over it.
Okay. Here, I'll just go back over to the beginning, and there we go.
Can you take a moment just to breathe, just to be? Can you take a moment just to breathe? Can you take a moment just to breathe, just to be? Can you take a moment just to breathe? Mother, do you know my name? And can you feel the rain pulsing through your veins? And Father, put your heart to the earth when you need rebirth through rhythm and song, and you're free to decide what is your reality. Free to decide. Can you defy gravity? Free to decide that you are free. Well, can you take a moment just to breathe, just to be? Can you take a moment just to breathe? Can you take a moment just to breathe, just to be? Can you take a moment just to breathe? Mother, do you know my name? And can you feel the rain pulsing through your veins? And Father, put your heart to the earth when you need rebirth through rhythm and song, and you're free to decide what is your reality. Free to decide. Can you defy gravity? Free to decide that you are free. Can you take a moment just to breathe, just to be? Can you take a moment just to breathe? Can you take a moment just to breathe, just to be? Can you take a moment just to breathe?
Wow.
What happens when my tracks break down? Go a cappella.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
And it was so incredible to have you here today, and I would love to have you back again and learn more about you, share more music, more about the healing work that you do. How people can get a hold of you again is go to, I'm going to bring it back up. You guys, that's gfest.life. That's where you get tickets to go see Johanna live. This is going to be 3 days of empowerment work, incredible workshops, incredible presenters. Go check it out. But I'm going to bring up johannasings.com. This is where you're going to find Johanna and the work that she does. And there, in the chat itself, there's her PayPal link, let me go ahead and put in her email address if anybody would like to email her and ask any questions or possibly buy one of the singing bowls that she offers or any of the instruments that she has for sale, as well as, and have, because she has a sound healing instrument that she uses in your lullaby yoga, which you have trademarked and you travel the world doing. And this instrument is also something that you can purchase, get for your home. You can, so you can do it yourself, which is always awesome. So, which is not, of course, somebody doing it for you, like Johanna and her energy. I mean, you can feel it coming through the screen. I know you guys can. So if you want one of these, go to johannasings.com or email Johanna, and please, absolutely get one of these. And wow, Jean. So we have another person that their son passed away. Oh, goodness. So
deep grief work to be had. Please email me info@johannasings.com. One of my favorite things to do is not to sing at festivals, but to help people on a personal level with what's going on with grief, with nervous system, with health. Please contact me, info@johannasings.com. I am here for you ladies. We're all one, and it's a struggle, but we're getting through it.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Bless. Thank you.
Have an absolutely fabulous day. Check out David Strickle today, the channel, the stream of David. He will be channeling and taking your questions at 4 p.m. And then tomorrow morning, I will be back at 10 a.m. with Elizabeth Vaca. All right, guys. Peace. Thank you so much. I love you. Go to spirituality.gotwild.com, by the way, and join our new membership. I forgot to mention it.